my quilting family, and we're going to do another installment of the pineapple blocks, and today we're going to do Hexagon centers, and I'm going to show you how to sew them and trim them up as we go around them. And I might have a surprise next week for you, I'm not sure. But anyways, we'll continue on. Meet me over at the cutting table and I'll show you how to get started. Okay, we're at the cutting table, and here we're going to just do show you how to cut a hexagon. Now this is a 4-inch strip of fabric. You can make your hexagons whatever size, but the rules still apply to this, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to put our 60-degree line here on the ruler right up against the straight edge of that, and we're just going to slide it over just a bit, and we're going to make our first cut. Okay, now, okay, why is this not happening here the way I need it? Okay, so it's a 4-inch strip, so I'm going to line the 4-inch line right along this angle here. I'm going to cut. Now, I'm going to take that 60-degree line and put it right like this to get this edge off. Excuse my reach. And then line this up with the 4-inch to get this line. Now I'm going to need 3 of these because we're doing the 3 different ones. So now I'm going to take, just to show you again, we're going to line this up with the 4-inch, and it doesn't go far enough. Okay, I'm going to line this up to the 4-inch, and we're just going to get past that, and we're going to line it up again now on the 60, and let's see, what, 30? No. Why am I not thinking about this? Every once in a while I get really confused with this, but it's okay. So we're going to line this up so that point matches right in there with the 60s on both sides. And we're going to cut the one side off, and now we're going to line it up to the 4-inch and cut the other side off. And now we have 3 really cute hexagons. Meet you at the sewing table. Okay, with these you've got 4 edges that are unbiased and 2 that are straight of grain, right? So we're just going to sew around the first row on all the ones with 1.5, 2-inch, and 2.5-inch. Now, part of the problem, because this angle is so shallow, when we get to the cutting table, I'm going to point out what we have to kind of decide as to how we're going to handle this. So we'll just get started sewing them on. We want about 1/4 inch on either side, and we're just going to move them along. You know, this is one of those projects that if it's over, that's fine. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. But, okay. Now if you want, I can meet you back at the sewing table, or the cutting table, and we'll get this all done. Okay, so we finished putting on all our little strips around the outside of the block. Now, they don't look like much, well, until they're trimmed. So and yes, I did manage to make another one. And they're going for a charity, why not? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip them over. Now, again with this, you have to kind of make your decision now as to whether it's more important for you to have points, perfect points, or to have rounds. So I have chosen with my block, because it's my quilt, it's my block, that I want points. So I'm going to measure across. I'm going to line up my ruler along the 8-inch line, and I want it to go through this point and this point, and I also want to have this lined up on the 1/4 inch. So I'm going to trim this and this. 8. Perfect. Okay, and I'm just going to go around, and it's all 6 lines. You know, you do all 6 sides. And see now here, I have a perfect 1/4 inch, but I'm way off here. So I have to make sure, in order to keep this, I have to go through 2 points, right? To make sure that I maintain that hexagon shape. Now, the other thing with this block is that as you go around, you'll see very quickly it maintains a hexagon shape, right? So you can go around as often as, you know, many times as you want. And then it's just a matter of adding 60-degree triangles. So let's get this last little bit done. Now, the other problem, because the angle here is so shallow, and I'm going to show this to you as soon as I get this one done. Because the angle here is so shallow, it takes a while for the 2.5 inch strips or the 2 inch strips to actually get out far enough. So you end up with like this block we used 1.5 inch strips. So when I trim this one, it's almost going to be the same size because we don't have it far enough away yet, and we have a really shallow angle. So you have to, this is where you have to make decisions is, do I want points and crisp lines, or do I want rounds? How fast do I want to make this round? Because you could also do this shape with log cabin, you know, then you wouldn't have to worry about, you know, stuff. But yeah, make sure though that you're going through 2 points before you trim, because that's the only way you're going to be able to maintain all the angles that are needed. See, now I'm just going to show you here. See, I'm just cutting off more stuff, but it's going to end up being the same size. So this is the problem. Oops, get through. I shouldn't talk when I'm trying to concentrate on cutting. Yeah, this is where you're going to have to decide. And they will sew together just like a hexie would. Okay. So you'll have your inset, you know, like your, oh, what do they call that when you have to, Y-seams. That's the word I'm trying to think of. So again, 2 points. See, now this was 2 inches, this was 2.5 inches. It trims right down to exactly the same size. And so will this one, because our angle is so shallow. It's only a 30-degree angle around here, right? So this is the problem with this block. However, as you go through here and you keep adding lines, and if you're only working on getting the point, it does beef out until you get to the point where you can now trim to a sewn line at 2 inches. So it does work. So I'm going to sew around the whites, and I'll show you how to do this. But flip this over, because you need to make this point right here where the crosshairs. That's how you get a lovely crisp block, right? So you want to sew with the little white strip underneath, and you're going to sew and try to hit this point. Okay, I'll meet you back once I get the whites sewn on. Okay, so I finished sewing on the white neutrals, and you know, like I've got lots of little scraps and lots of variety in my colors, so I'm, you know, quite privileged. But so anyways, now I'm going to show you squaring up one of these and one of the larger ones, because again, you're going to run into trouble of, okay, where is the, like, what's more important to me, the point or making this? Now the points here, right here, I'm going to just darken this with a pencil so you can see it a little bit better. The point that we're going to try and make is right there where that X is. And we need 1/4 inch at least on the other side of that X if we want to make the point. So now we're going to go square this up again. Now what you need is you need to intersect this point with this point over here. Now these get a little more complicated as you go out further, but you have to match up a point. because otherwise it won't, you know, you're going to get all wonky, right? And wonky is good in some blocks, some not this one, because you want it to keep that hexagon shape. Now, as we go out, there we go, and there's my 1/4 inch. So for the first few rounds of these, you'll notice right away that you have to kind of, you know, okay, we're going to have to play to the points, but they do start to bulk out. And I'm going to show you that here. Oh, wait, where's my other point? Oh, there it is. There it is. I lost it. I lost the point. There we go, and we're just going to run that right across. And that's what keeps its shape, right? Now I'm going to again trim the larger one, the one with where I use the 2.5 inch strips. And you're going to see that we're going to be taking off lots. So the first couple of rounds, if you're going to do a larger one of these, because the angle's so shallow, I would recommend you use like a 1.5 or a 2 inch strip, because then you'll end up going farther with it. You know, especially if you're limited on your 2.5 inch strips. You know, it all depends on what you've got. You know, you're sewing with what you got and what you've got to work with. So, okay, get across. So I made both points. Okay. And do the point first there. Okay, there we go. Now the 2 inch one will trim up almost to exactly the same size, right? Because you can see very quickly, these are the same size hexagons, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the finished ones, because we finished some of them. And hopefully you'll be able to see. Now this is where we used the 1.5 inch, right, with strips all the way out to the outside. Okay, just a sec here. Okay, we used them all the way out to the outside, and it's okay. It looks great, right? Because you get kind of a complex pattern. This was, however, the 2 inch strips. And you can see by about the 3rd round, 4th round, it's now starting to beef out, and the points do get larger. So there's more of a gradual, they gradually get bigger, and that's because of the shallow angle. Now the 2 inch ones, this is another 1.5 inch one. The 2 inch ones are pretty much in the same boat. It's only about like the 4th round that you really start to see them get beefier and bigger. So it's up to you how you want to handle this. That we've got, you know, we've got this size. Now the Guild wants our blocks to be 12.5 inches. So I'm going to just show you very quickly how to trim them up. Okay, so again, this is a little weird because you've got a 45-degree line this way, which doesn't really do you much. So you need 6 1/4, and you're going to try and get your 6 1/4 to go through the second triangle out, right? And there you've got it. It's a little off. That's okay. That's okay. It'll work. And when I try and do too, as I'm trimming these up, because everything's on the bias, try not to manhandle them too much, because you will stretch these blocks out of shape. Or you can put stay stitching in to help help the edges not stretch. The other thing you can do is once you finish, you know, like once you finish quilting this, I mean, you're not going to see any ripples, bubbles, or nothing. But yeah, you line it up the best you can, and then, you know, you go the other direction. I'm just going to line up the other, show you the bigger one. Oh, here it is. Okay. Now again, oh, I'm just going to go like this, because I've got a good 6 1/4 and 6 1/4. So I've got 2, and then I'm going to take the lines this way, and I'm just going to move it up so I get the second point, because the second point will line up. Yep, and there we go. Okay, and now we're taking the 45-degree line through, and the washi tape marks the 12.5 on both axes. And there we go. And they're very quick to square up. You know, once you kind of know where to look and how to make this work. I'm just going to move this up just a hair, just this way, because I want the 6 1/4 points to go through. Ooh, this one's tighter. And there. Yeah, that's one thing. They're very eclectic. They're now posting some of the blocks online, and some of them are just beautiful. We have so many beautiful artists in our guild. So anyways, I will put below the guild and the charity that we're making these for. But where? Okay, so we'll meet you back at the sewing machine. Okay, and we're now all trimmed up and ready to go. These were so much fun to make for this episode, and they are going to a very worthy charity. If I'll put more about the charity and our guild in the show notes below, as well as hopefully helpful cutting instructions. It's kind of up to you. If you do work with make the point first and then it bulks out, you'll see how beautiful these really, they sew up really fast and they're really cute. So I hope you try these. They were a lot of fun. A lot of lovely little scraps were gone out of my stash now, so, and they're going to a good cause. Anyways, I hope you have a great day, and we'd love to see you back. I am going to put a surprise in for next week and do something else to pineapple, so I hope to see you back then. Bye! If you have questions about what you saw in this video, or you have ideas for content or something you want to see us do, please put those comments in the description below. But also, while you're there, like, share, and subscribe with your friends. That would really help us out. Okay, I want to thank you and have a great day.